Hey guys, we are going to be starting a new unit in science and it's all about ecosystems. So today we're just going to read a little bit about what specifically is an ecosystem. Right, so this is what our Delta Science Reader looks like. Okay, it's called Ecosystems. It says plants and animals depend on one another and on the non-living things in their environment. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page and look at the table of contents. Today we're just going to start by reading this first part of what is an ecosystem and the parts of an ecosystem. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip the page and get started. So first of all, what is an ecosystem? Okay, so many kinds of plants and animals live around a coral reef. How do you think the plants and animals affect one another and the things around them? Okay, so I want y'all to be thinking about that as we read. Here's a picture of a coral reef. There's a bunch of plants and animals that live around this reef. How do you think they affect one another and the things around them? All right, so we've got the page turned. So y'all are just going to be able to follow along with me. We're going to start reading about the parts of the ecosystem, and we're just going to read a little bit today. And we'll read more and more as we go on. Okay, so the parts of an ecosystem. Imagine you are a frog living at a pond. Flies, lily pads, and water are part of your environment. An environment is all the physical things and conditions that surround a living thing. So that's something that's important. An environment is all the physical things and conditions that surround a living thing. All the living and non-living things in one place make up an ecosystem. Okay, so that's what we're talking about this unit, ecosystems. That's all living and non-living things in one place. That's an ecosystem. A pond is a freshwater ecosystem. It has living things or organisms, which we've already learned about when we're talking about animals, such as animals and plants. The living things in an ecosystem are called biotic factors. Remember, bio means life. Okay, so biotic, those are the living things in an ecosystem. The pond also has non-living things such as water, sunlight, soil, and air. The non-living things in an ecosystem are called abiotic factors. Okay? Abiotic factors. A means not. Okay? So abiotic means not living. An ecosystem also includes the interactions among the biotic and abiotic factors. When things interact, they affect one another. For example, beavers interact with water, land, and plants when they build dams. Okay, so they interact with non-living and living things, and it affects those things. Here's a picture down here. It shows a frog that's on a lily pad, and water are all part of a freshwater ecosystem, so are their interactions. So all of those things are part of the freshwater ecosystem. All right, so we're going to continue reading page 5. An ecosystem is a kind of system. Okay, so a system is a group of parts that work together forming a whole. That's what a system is, and that's an important word. That's why it's bolded. There is a balance among the factors in an ecosystem. What happens when one factor changes, other factors will probably be affected. Okay, so if one thing changes, then other things are going to change. One ecosystem can support a great variety or diversity of organisms. So diversity is the same as variety. There's a whole bunch of different things. Scientists often use these 3 words to talk about the organisms in an ecosystem: species, population, and community. So a species, those are organisms of the same kind belonging to the same species. Mallard ducks are one species of birds. Great blue herons are another. Okay, so we have birds and then we have different species of birds. You can see up here, here's a mallard duck. They're just one species of birds, and then we have many other species. A population, that's all the members of one species living in one place. They make up a population. A pond may be home to a population of 12 painted turtles. Okay? So that's a population, all the members of the same type of species living in one place. A community, all the different populations living together in one place make up a community. So this could be one pond community can have a population of many different species of animals and plants. Okay, so the community of a pond could be ducks, frogs, fish, and plants that make up that ecosystem. Okay, so community is all the different species in one place. Population is one species in one place. And then a species is just one type of organism that belongs to the same species. All right, so those are all the pages that we're going to read today. But before we end, I just want to talk a little bit and answer some questions. Okay, so we read about a lot of different things, and there are a lot of important words on these 2 pages. So first of all, what is an environment? Let's go back and look at environment right here. An environment is all the physical things and conditions that surround a living thing. That's an environment. What is an ecosystem? That's right here. All the living and non-living things in one place make up an ecosystem. Okay, so a pond is a freshwater ecosystem. Other ecosystems that you could have would be deserts, freshwater ecosystems, and others as well. What are the living things in an ecosystem called? The living things in an ecosystem are called biotic factors. Remember, bio means life, so biotic factors are the living things in an ecosystem. The non-living things in an ecosystem are called abiotic factors. Remember, A means not, so abiotic means non-living. Some examples of abiotic factors would be like water, sunlight, soil, and air. Okay, those are examples of abiotic non-living factors. The 3 words that we use to talk about organisms in an ecosystem are right over here on page 5. You can see them: species, population, and community. So a species, that's organisms of the same kind that belong to the same species. So mallard ducks would be one species of birds. Blue herons are one species of birds. The population is all the members of one species living in one place. Okay, so there could be 12 painted turtles living in a pond. That would be a population. Okay. And then community, those are all the different populations living together in one place. Okay, so this could be, a pond community could include populations of many different species of animals and plants. They could have turtles, ducks, they could have species of frogs, all kinds of different species that are living together in one ecosystem. Those make up the community. All right, so we talked about all of the important parts. Next time, we are going to go ahead and take some notes together on this. But for now, this is all. I'll see you next time.